Hmm. Hi, I'm Grandma Judy. I'm 78 years old and I'm having a great time. And I hope you are too. Now, a few days ago, we had a big fire come up west of us, and the smoke came in from the wind blowing east, just came in, and it was just nasty. Oh, not fun at all. So I had to stay in for a couple of days because, well, I didn't want to end up with lung problems and stuff. So you have to use common sense. Old people and little kids. You gotta kind of gauge yourself better. So that's what I did. And then yesterday that we had a nice rainstorm. It was so nice. Cooled everything off, cleaned the air, and in about 6 hours, the smoke was gone. Now the fire's still burning, but we had originally we had like 20-mile plus winds coming out of the west due east, which meant heading to my place. And it was not fun. Plus, you have to worry about is the fire going to get away from them and it's going to head over here because we're surrounded by hay fields and wheat fields and stuff. Oh, and Highway uh, 14 was closed, 30 was closed, um, 28 was closed, the Centerville Highway was closed, 142 was closed. So the only place we could go basically was east because all the highways were closed so that the firemen and stuff the trucks and all that could get in. Well, yesterday after the smoke lifted and stuff, and 14 is still closed, but um, the Oregon side on what is it, 84 was open. So girlfriend and I took a ride down, went to a couple of cute little towns, and they had fun little antique stores. They were really nicely done towns. Everything was all clean and sweet. Really nice little communities that they obviously cared a lot about. But there were also a lot of like the old buildings, old storefronts and stuff that were closed because it just cost too much to get them remodeled and insulated and new wiring and everything. So that it was like made me kind of sad because those are the buildings that I love. But we had a really good time and it kind of broke the monotony because we had had to stay in for a few days because of the smoke and went down onto the river there onto the Columbia River and we watched the planes come in. They were coming in just scooping down, landing kind of not quite landing on the water and getting their tanks full of water and taking off. There were 5 planes and it took all 5 of those planes 15 minutes from the time I could see them till the time they picked up their water, took off, and went up onto the fire and dropped their load and came back down. It was 15 minutes between each one. These guys are great. Wow. I wouldn't want to be in the plane because, I think water sloshes around a lot. I think it'd be a little scary. But these pilots were great. They did just such a wonderful job. And because of them and the guys on the ground, the fire's semi-contained. It's still not completely contained because we have a bunch of canyons and it's nobody can get down in those canyons. It would just be a fire, death trap down there. So they have to just fight them from the top down. But they're doing the really good job, and I'm very, very grateful to them because, well, I want to have fun this summer, and I can't have fun this summer if I can't breathe. So I'm having a great time, and I've got a few trips planned. Girlfriend and I are going to go over. We found an area that has a lot of agate, and we're going to go over and see if we can't collect some agate. Now, I'm not going to go camping this year because I just don't want to. But I'm okay with paying for a hotel room so we can go play and do the agates and look for the rocks and have a good time and have lunch and enjoy ourselves. Then we can go back to into town and go to check. I'll have us checked into a hotel We can go have dinner at a nice restaurant, go back to the hotel, we can take showers and relax and have some fun. And to be honest, it doesn't cost that much with the cost of fuel. In Washington State, I know they keep saying, "Oh, gas is down to 2.80 or 2.40 or whatever." Yeah, it's 4.59 for regular here. hmm For my little Mazda, because I don't use regular because it doesn't like it, it's 4.79 for my little car. I know. They keep saying they're going to get it down, but I live in a red state and they're all for get taxes, 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 not benefits, 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 benefits. But I love living here. I love the people. I love the environment. And I keep trying to vote them out, but it hasn't worked so far. The other side of the state is where most of the population is, Seattle and all of that. But oh well, sooner or later these people are going to have to wake up. I mean, we're paying huge taxes on everything. Well, we don't have income tax, and that's kind of nice. And we have a sales tax, and I actually appreciate the sales tax because if I go down, I mean, you don't pay tax on medicine, groceries, and housing. So you don't pay tax on those. That's about it. You pay tax on everything else. But if I go down and I buy myself a car, like I bought my little Mazda, it's a 2016, just the cutest little thing. Gets great mileage. It's comfortable. It's easy for me to drive. It's a lot smaller than my big farm trucks that I was used to. So, but I really enjoy that. And somebody else goes down and buys an $80,000 pickup truck or a big van or whatever, um, they're going to pay taxes on that. I'm going to pay taxes on my little used Mazda. And why? Because they can afford it and I can afford this. So that's a fair thing. Sales tax is a much more fair thing than income tax because a person can make a lot of money but not be able to maintain it because I mean, what are you paying for a mortgage and stuff today? Thank God everything I own is paid off. I don't know how people do it. And credit cards, I'm telling you, pay them suckers off and get rid of them. You might want to keep one for an emergency. But an emergency isn't going out to dinner. Emergency is the, oh my God, my kids are hurt. I've got to get it to South Dakota or something. That's the emergency, you know. So if I can't afford it, I just don't buy it. I don't get it. And I think I'm better off for it. I know financially I'm better off for it. And I think that it's just a terrible, credit cards are just a way of controlling. They are because you have to, if you don't make that, you sign up and it's, oh, we've got this low 6% interest rate, da 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 da. Well, you miss one payment by a couple of days and all of a sudden you're in a 30% interest and it doesn't go back down. I know. So please get those suckers paid off. And if you own a home, you can turn around and you can pay it off much, much quicker and save yourself just buku of interest. Because let's say that you're paying $1,200 a month for your mortgage payment. And you take $100 every month and you pay it separately. You do not add it to this. You put a separate check and say it's for the principal and you send that in. Well, pretty soon, instead of having a 30-year mortgage, you can have a 15 or 16-year mortgage because it'll be paid off. Mhm. Because you're lowering the principal, and by lowering the principal, you're lowering the interest you're paying. Makes sense. Really, really does. And it feels so good when you get that deed and it's all in your name. Oh, wonderful relief. So try to do that. Try to encourage your kids to do it because today it's cost so much for everything. I mean, really, our kids, if they're going to survive being old and still being like me and having a good time, they're going to have some dollars there to have a good time with. So they can't be in debt when they get to our age. It's just a killer to do that. So pay off the principal, keep your payment steady, pay off the principal, and cut down the amount of interest that you're paying and the amount of years you're paying it on, whether it's your car. Oh, and always if you get a loan like on a car, make sure there is no penalty for prepayment because a lot of them have it and you don't want that at all. No, that. Why? Because they're going to make more money off you on that interest than they are on the principal that you're going to be paying for the car. Hmm. So please pay attention to that and get it done. Oh, well, yesterday, this is my fun part. I went to a couple of little towns down on Highway 80, off of Highway 84 in Oregon, because the smoke had lifted and I could get outside and play for a little while. And a girlfriend and I felt like we needed, been housebound, we needed to get out and do something. And we did. And it was cute little towns. But it was kind of sad too, because there were a lot of the big storefronts and stuff that were just boarded up because, well, just cost too much to redo those buildings. I mean, new electricity, insulation, roofs, everything. It'd be as expensive, if not more expensive, than building it from scratch. And I get that. But they have so love those old buildings. Oh well. I also don't have the money to do it, so I guess I'm just like they are. Just have to admire them from afar. Well, I'm Grandma Judy. I'm having a great time being old. I don't have to support anybody else. I don't have to worry about anybody else. Well, my dog, but that's okay too. He worries about me probably more than I do him. But I thank you ever so much for joining me today. Please like and subscribe. Have some fun. Pay off those debts. Get your kids to pay off their debts because I thank you so much. Bye bye. Love you, Grandma Judi. I know I always have to look for that button.